Hey, what's up, guys? I'm trying to find out some info today. If anyone out there has anything that could help me with this question I have, it'd be great if you'd leave it in the comments. Basically, the question is I did a video about a year or two ago. It was on the new Microsoft Xbox 360 Slim model. On that video, the whole point was to show that once in a while when you ordered the Xbox 360, there were times where it just flat didn't function out of the box. I mean, brand new, the system was broken. And I couldn't understand why it would be that a console could be that flimsy. And of course, over time, I lost several Xboxes. I mean, I know it's well over 8, without a doubt. Um, I would have them literally give out sometimes when I got new games. I think one of them died just because I started playing the new Forza, I believe 3. Others gave out, just slowly over time. They would just begin to have little problems. The video would start doing like these little corruption issues, and I'm assuming what ended up happening was the graphics chip would eventually come apart from the what would you call it, the heat sink, and it more than likely had something to do with the X-clip or the thermal paste. But regardless, this particular situation was my 360 arrived. I had just had it replaced because the one I had had before gave out. Now, when I had the thing replaced, they sent me a brand new one. And when it got here, I opened it up and it didn't work. Obviously, there were corruption issues. Now, obviously, I'd heard about the issue that you could get the system and you could take out the hard drive. You could then, get it, put it back in, make sure it's nice and straight, and the system would be fine. The problem was, in this case, whenever I did that, it didn't fix anything. Nothing was working. It was still doing the exact same thing. So the only thing that I ever, came to a conclusion on was that the system was doing the same exact thing as the other ones. More than likely in shipping, it took a good bump. That bump may have loosened the X-clip, and it just messed it up. Well, I sent it back, and a few days later I get my new one again. That one's fine. Now, when I did the video, though, I put it up, and obviously for the longest time I had no idea that YouTube was doing any of the monetization at all, so I didn't do anything. But later I made the decision that I would like to try to make videos, and just to see how it worked, see if it was fun. And in doing so, I decided that that video obviously was the most popular one that I had had up to that point. So it would probably be the smart thing to monetize that one. My assumption being that since the device was something that I owned and that I wasn't trying to, say, hey, look, this is a game, blah, blah, blah. It was just saying, look, if you buy these systems, beware. If you do order it online especially, there's a chance that it may have been bumped, it may not work, you may end up having to send off for a new one immediately even though you just got it. Well, in that time, I had got some kind of a message that told me that the video was under review for the monetization of it. Now, honestly, I have no idea. I was always under the impression that videos that did reviews were protected in some way because it just literally was something that everyone does. Now, obviously, if you use their video or music illegally, like to promote something of your own, that's a different story. But as such, I thought that as a review that it was protected. Now, in this case, I made the assumption that this clearly was a review on hardware because the thing was brand new and it just was busted before I even got to play the first game on it. Well, regardless, I have literally gone crazy trying to figure out what the deal is with the video, if I've done something wrong. But the only thing that I find is that the tab under monetization on the video is in dispute. It basically says that we are investigating the video to see if you have usage rights, whatever, and you would need to submit proof of permission, whatever. Now, honestly, like I said, I have no idea. And that's the whole purpose in this video. I want to find out, because the last thing I want is to get in trouble with YouTube. I love the service. I love watching videos on there, and now I like the idea of being able to post videos online. The last thing I want is to get in trouble where I can't. So if anyone has any idea, if you have seen the video, it's my video called Red Ring of Death Rebirth. If that video falls under the protected review side, I'd love to know, because like I said, at this point it's my most popular video, and it's really a shame because it was years ago. I didn't have any clue. But I want to be sure that I am safe, because I don't want to make any mistakes. And if anyone out there has any information for me, I'd really appreciate it. I've read some of the information given at YouTube, and it's very confusing because it doesn't really explain anything about fair use for reviews. I only managed to hear that information on another video that I watched on YouTube, and I don't want to say anything to get anyone in trouble. But if there is some kind of fair use for a review on something, I'd like to know if it does pertain to that video, because in my viewpoint, the thing was basically a review on the hardware to say, look, this is something that happens. And it has to be popular enough, because I've got tons of comments. People run the gamut from saying, oh, we understand, we've had this kind of problem before, to those that just don't care and flat out say, haha, you deserve it. Which to me is a little bit funny. But obviously trolls are going to be trolls no matter how you look at the thing. But anyway, like I said, if the video does fall under fair use for review, I'd love to hear that. If not, I mean, by any accounts, I mean, great. I just won't do that. I will make sure to stay as far away from anything like that in the future. But it does seem a little strange to me, considering that YouTube is literally filled with review videos all day, every day. So if there is information on something that I would need to do, I would really appreciate that information. I just don't seem to know where it is myself. I will continue to look for more information, but anything that could be passed along, I would really appreciate that. Alright guys, thanks. Later.